Police have now confirmed a popular pizza man was killed, but they won't say how 55-year-old Jordan Voudouris died in the Waikato town of Paeroa.
In the early hours of June 18, 2012, a single shot pierced the silence of the quiet rural New Zealand town of Paeroa. This single shot tragically ended the life of the larger-than-life pizza shop owner, Jordan Voudouris. The residents of Paeroa woke to shock and disbelief that they had lost one of their most loved residents, and that such a crime could take place in their sleepy town.
It was just pure shock with everyone because of his identity, you know. He was just such a nice guy and people were just blown away with like how, why.
One or two cop cars around, but you never saw that many. And sort of get your brain going, oh, I wonder what that's all about. I wonder what's happened, it must be something sort of serious. And then to find out that someone in your town had been murdered was quite shocking, really.
Police launched an extensive investigation, performing hundreds of interviews and chasing thousands of leads, confident Jordan's killer or killers would be found. But as the days turned into weeks, the weeks into months, and the months into years, residents came to the realization that Jordan's killer may never be found.
What started off as quite a real shock and awe sort of feeling around the town, this was just not the sort of thing that happened in a town like this. And so that was quite a shock to everyone, and especially quite a shock when everybody you talked to knew who Jordan was, and so that comes as even more of a shock. And it wasn't long before that shock sort of started to turn to, questioning around, well, who did it then, like, was it a local? Was it someone from out of town? What was sort of the motive behind it? Was it just passing by in a robbery, or was there something else to it? And so, yeah, there was a lot of just unknown and speculation and all of that sort of stuff, because when you're sort of living in a town like this and you start thinking, well, is it potentially someone who lives down the road that did it, or someone that we know, or a local, that sort of can be quite unsettling.
My name's Ryan Wolf. I'm an actor and a lawyer, and I can recall the day of Jordan's murder vividly, and it's stuck with me ever since. In this multi-part investigative podcast, I'm going to take you back to the time of Jordan's death and go over the evidence with a fresh set of eyes. I'll be speaking to residents and those who knew Jordan with the goal of shedding some light on the case and hopefully bringing Jordan's killer to justice. Episode 1 is coming soon and will be available on Apple Podcasts by searching Murder and Paeroa, Who Killed Jordan Voudouris. You can also find us on Facebook. I believe someone knows something, and with your help, we can solve this brutal, senseless murder.
People haven't forgotten about Jordan, and it's still very much a case of, it is really sad that we haven't yet been able to find out what happened.